Trails fans, let's be honest, not every arc hits the same. Some are legendary, some are great, and some are kind of just good. So let's settle the debate. Today, I'm going to be ranking every Trails arc. Liberl, Crossbell, Erebonia, and Calvard. And a quick note before we start today, that no one will agree with me. This fanbase debates harder over arcs than trail waifus. I played them all twice now, over 1,000 hours. I've seen the peaks, I've seen the padding, so coming in last place, we have Calvard. Calvard isn't a bad arc. It does do some things good. Actually, it does a lot good. It's a new engine, new format, and a new vibe. But I think the main weakness has to be that it's just not finished yet. So first we start with Daybreak 1. It was a great foundation game with good characters and pretty good cities, but it was kind of light for an arc starter. There was barely any mini games, no fishing, that's the biggest crime honestly, and a pretty weak villain presence. The villains in Daybreak sucked, okay? They were bad. And overall, it kind of felt more like a spin-off than an actual arc opener. And then we have Daybreak 2, which was supposed to be a 2-year dev cycle, but at the very end, it got cut down to 1, and you really feel it. It was a very rushed game. The time travel stuff was awesome at first, and by first, I mean like the prologue, and then it was just pretty undercooked after that. So overall, Daybreak 2 was a fun game, but it was kind of just sloppy, and the pacing sucked. And finally, we have Kaino Kiseki. Huge highs, some top tier moments in that game, but the padding went crazy. The amount of times I was so excited that the story was moving forward just to switch to Van's route and have to go do Edith patrolling, it sucks. Between Reverie and Kai, the overall plot practically froze, and Kaino Kiseki didn't really relieve that until the very end. So yes, Kaino Kiseki has peak moments, but it just felt like it took way too long to get to them. So what does Calvard do best then? Well, that's an easy answer. It's the gameplay. The gameplay is the best in the whole series. Seriously, Trails right now is probably at its peak for gameplay. You have the movement, the hack and slash, the quick arts, the customization. If I was ranking just on gameplay alone, I think Calvard would be number 1. Or number 2, but it would be very close. My final thoughts on Daybreak are that as a full arc, it's kind of undercooked and it's not done yet. But here's to hoping that Kai 2 improves. And coming in at number 3, we have Crossbell. This one probably hurts for quite a lot of you. I know people love Crossbell, but listen, okay? I was burnt out at Trails. I just came off finishing marathoning Sky and I just had no energy for Crossbell, and honestly it affected my first playthrough. My brain was just fried of Trails at the time. So it's not Crossbell's fault, it's just bad timing. It's not Crossbell, it's me. But 8 months later, I decided to finally replay Zero and Azure, and I think I finally understood the hype. Zero was originally a B tier game for me, but after my second playthrough, it quickly moved up to A tier. It has some of the tightest pacing in the whole series. Like seriously, the writing is clean, and the city just feels alive. They did so much with so little, and they somehow made it into this whole 2-game duology shit, and it worked, okay? It worked. What about the cast, all right? The cast is great, even if Lloyd is Lloyd. Look, I'm not a huge fan of overcoming barriers. I even prefer Van over Lloyd, okay? Lloyd's just a little bit basic, but the rest of the cast was great. Crossbell overall had extremely good structure and low fluff. It was good. So what does Crossbell do best? Well, like I said earlier, it has some of the tightest pacing in Trails. It also has some of the best politics in the series. And we can't forget about the great subplots like the one involving Ren. Unfortunately though, all those things just can't push it up to second place because of my terrible first experience with the game. Even Pom Pom couldn't save it. Number 2, Erebonia. This right here is like the meat of the series. 5 games, massive scope, massive content. And overall, it's messy as shit, but my god is it iconic. Let's start off with Cold Steel 1. It's cozy, it's fun, it's a Persona style school simulator, and it's just the definition of slow burn. It's a great introduction to the cast and the country of Erebonia. Then we have Cold Steel 2. Some of you may have heard me say this before, but I don't like Cold Steel 2, okay? I just don't. It has the Saturday morning cartoon energy. It's the most Naruto shonen-like game out of all of them. It uses the most tropes out of every Trails game, and it's overall just the weakest link. It really brings the whole arc down. If Cold Steel 2 was a great game, Erebonia might be number 1. And then we have Cold Steel 3, which I gotta say is one of the best Trails games ever. Perfect build-up, perfect pace, and the perfect tone. You fight Ouroboros like 3 times in this game. And then you have the whole Juna, Crossbell, give it back to me, give me back Crossbell. Like, that shit's iconic. And then you have the whole fighting McBurn, the whole ending dungeon, and it has one of the greatest soundtracks in the whole arc. And then we have Cold Steel 4. It's chaotic, I'll give it that, but it's fun. It has some of the biggest payoffs, the biggest fights, and the biggest crossovers in the whole series. It was like the Avengers of the Trails series. It still doesn't fix the problem of heavy trope usage or being very shonen-like, but who gives a shit? It was sick. And then finally we have Reverie, which is essentially our Age of Ultron. How can you hate on it? It is the best Trails game ever made. So what does Erebonia do best? Well, aside from having the best protagonist in Trails, you know who I'm talking about, our boy Reen, it does also have some of the biggest emotional peaks in the series. Hey, I mean, when you have 250 hours of writing, of course there's going to be some good moments in it. Cold Steel also had one of the most ambitious scopes in the series. Fun fact, Cold Steel was the original idea for Trails, but it was so ambitious in scope that they decided to start with Liberl and Crossbell instead. So yeah, it's ambitious in scope. Cold Steel also has one of the best OSTs in the whole Trails series. Lots of iconic songs, lots of great dungeon music, and some pretty memeable stuff. Finally, the Cold Steel arc has a massive cast, which while sometimes can be a con, in this case, we're listing it as a pro. So final thoughts are, yes, the Erebonia arc is messy. It's messy as shit, but it is iconic. A solid number 2. And number 1, we have Liberl. Of course it's Liberl. How could it not be? It's the classic arc, the original arc, the one that started everything. So what makes it number 1? Well, Sky SC and Third are both top JRPGs of all time. Sky Third being one of my favorites ever. The pacing is just perfect across all 3 games. And Kevin is a top 2 MC right behind Estelle. Liberl is literally just the perfect arc, and there's not really much downsides to it. The world building hits, the execution hits, the music hits, just everything hits in this arc, and everyone remembers their first. So that's the final list. There we go. Calvard, Crossbell, Erebonia, and Liberl. Let me know your order in the comments, or just how plain wrong I am. I know some of you guys think I'm wrong. Please like the video if you enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching to the end. This was Ethanime, and I'll see you in the next one.